Hi, everyone. Welcome to Creating the Investor Mind podcast. We are here, episode 6. We're so excited. We are so excited. You guys are in for a treat. We're discussing today the power of networking and community building. We're so honored to have a special guest in the house today. We have Mr. Rashawn Moore, former co-owner of Secret Society Cigar Lounge,
Yes.
and also an engineer.
Yes.
So we're so pleased to have you today. I just want to introduce the co-host of the show today. We have Kiera Burton with Next Level Realty Plus. We have Teddy Johnson with the Next Level Realty Plus, my lovely agents. And we have another special co-host guest. This is Yolanda Jackson, okay, with Unified Fashion. Okay, and we're just so happy to have you all here and really excited to talk with you, Rashawn Moore. And thank you for taking time to share some tips and gems. So I'm Tanisha Griffith. I'm the owner of the Next Level Realty Plus, and we're excited to get into this discussion.
Yes.
Right? You guys are in for a treat.
Awesome.
So thanks for coming, Rashawn.
Honored to be here.
Yeah, so we chose this topic because, first of all, I want to thank you for even saying yes to come onto the podcast, okay? Because we know you're busy. One of the things that with this podcast is very organic, and I kind of handpick my guests pretty much because I want the audience to really receive authentic and really good information from people. This is like sitting in on it's a larger conversation pretty much.
Yes.
And, you know, when we met at the Colors event, you guys, that you did was really great.
And thanks
I
for
met you
coming
a couple
too.
times before.
Thanks for coming.
And when we asked you to come on to the podcast, you were just responded with whatever I can do to help.
Yeah.
And that serving spirit, it just resonated.
Yes.
It resonated. I said, we have to have this guy, you know, because we know that you're busy and we see you doing a lot of events in Charlotte and so forth. But your response was priceless. So I said, he is definitely the special guest. So tell everyone a little bit about you, tell everyone about yourself, and just about your thoughts about the power of networking and how it's benefited you along your journey.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the platform. I'm very honored. I appreciate it very much. Very humbled. So I started off. I'm originally from New York City, Jamaica, Queens. I went to Morgan State University, finished University of Maryland. I have a degree in computer science and history. I moved here to Charlotte, I want to say about 12 years ago. I lived in New York. My mom moved me to Jersey to get me out of the Queens. And she's a single mother, great, strong single mother. And then we moved to Jersey, Princeton, New Jersey. It's called Hightstown, so it's around that area, whatever. There, I finished high school, then I matriculated into Morgan State University. So I went to Morgan, then I finished the University of Maryland. I was in Morgan for a long time. I had a lot of fun. I didn't waste no college years. And I went to Morgan. My mom dropped me off in Baltimore. I had a one-bedroom apartment. I was never on campus. So I was by myself, and she was like, it's on you now. Figure it out.
Okay.
So, and she paid, and she actually paid my first semester with a credit card.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was talking to her last night. I'm in school for a while, trying to figure things out, and comp sci is not easy because you're dealing with a lot of math requirement stuff, and I'm not good at math. I'm more of a literature, English type person.
Okay.
But I just chose, I don't know why I did it, but my mom was like, I'm not paying for you to be a history teacher, which I wanted to be. She's like, if you do this, I'm paying money. You're going to be a doctor, engineer, or a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You have some choices.
Yeah, that's right. Very limited, right? And then I was supposed to go to Howard, but she's old school, so like I think DC back then was like the 80s era, so it was like real bad. But she didn't know I was in Baltimore. Baltimore was like way worse than Wire.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, Baltimore's bad.
Sorry, Baltimore.
Yeah. No, I love people. I have a lot of friends in Baltimore. It's not a disclaimer. I love Baltimore. The city that reads. I love people. A lot of friends in Baltimore. And Baltimore actually shaped me as a man. So that's my city. I have a lot of great friends I met in Baltimore. But it's out there. I had a little hip hop career. I was doing too much. I was out rapping and stuff, and nobody knows that, but they probably know it now. People in Baltimore know, but but basically I finished school, got married at I want to say when I was 28.
Okay.
I had 4 beautiful girls: Ava, Nadia, Mickey, and Riley's my oldest. So we moved out here, been in Charlotte for 12 years, and I got into the the scene of doing events and stuff, because I actually I was thinking about it now the other day, actually, when you told me to do this. The rap thing was, I can't be a 30-year-old rapper.
Okay.
It's not cool. Nothing cool about being a 30-year-old rapper, right? You know what I mean? You start getting hair, you got to dye your hair and everything. It's not cool. Like all these rappers got gray hair. 2 Chainz, everybody got some gray hair under it, right? So, you know, I decided to start doing events. So I started off doing the Kappa cufflinks,
Okay.
cocktails. Where you guys at? We're at the other day. I started doing that first, and then I had my partner Antoine Bryant. We matriculated into doing our own events from there. We started doing Oak Room because we had a little crowd.
Okay.
That we built through the Kappas, to be honest. And then we moved on to doing stuff at Sports One. We called it Posh Mixer.
Okay.
And so we did Posh Mixer at Sports One, and then from Sports One we went to Club One. So we were doing like small little meeting mixers or whatever at Sports One. Peter Thomas helped bring us up.
Okay.
And while we were doing that, we were mixing with a little bit of celebrities, because Peter has a long arm of celebrities.
Right.
To be honest, you know what I mean? He's been in the game. People don't give him his credit for what he's done.
Okay.
He actually helped start the Miami club scene.
Okay.
You know, so he's very yeah. So like, you know, but you know, he's doing this thing called, I think it was called it was a festival he used to do, or he probably killed me. He's going to probably get me later on. I forget exactly. But basically, he helped us out. So we went from doing little mixtures to doing celebrity events. Okay. So we were doing, we blinked our eyes. We were doing like Genuine, Mario. Wow. We done K. Michelle's events. Our biggest event was Puff Daddy. We did the reunion tour of Puff Daddy at the after party.
Oh, that's massive. I was at that concert.
Yeah. We did that in Charlotte. And we had a lot of people. We did Sanaa Lathan.
Okay. Oh, wow.
She was in town for an event, and she wanted to have, I guess she had a casting thing that was going on, and she wanted an after party to be done, so we did an after party. And it was awesome. And she showed up like by herself, which was awesome. She's an awesome spirit. But we did her. We did a lot of people in a short amount of time, and then we started doing stuff with Herb Gray.
Okay.
So we started doing it, because I remember one of my close friends, Curtis Bodison, he used to take me to the Gantt Center all the time, and it was called Gantt After Dark. I'm talking too much this week.
No.
But we used to do Gantt After Dark, and we used to take me there. And I didn't realize, so the first person that was there that I met, I got my book signed by representative from South Carolina. I forgot his name. But like he signed, his wife was there. His wife passed away. He was signing books. I got a book there. Curtis told me, you got to start coming to these events because it's a great networking event.
Okay.
4 years later, I know that I'll be actually with her doing Gantt After Dark.
Look at that. That's the power of networking.
Yes. I had no idea. And so, you know, and Herb Gray is a big part of my networking process, because, you know, he put me in positions to actually maneuver and move. And he didn't have to do that. Didn't know me from Adam.
Right.
I think he saw me one day, we were at one of his events, and he's like, I like your shoes. And I'm kind of purpose with stuff, because I wore I had some Louboutins. It was Louboutins.
Okay.
I'll tell you a funny story about the Louboutins. I had some red Louboutins, the only ones I have.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he's like, I like your shoes. I was like, I appreciate that, thank you. And then we started talking. He probably doesn't even remember that. And then, you know, but it moved in from, you know, him seeing how I move, and I love how he moves.
Yes.
And me, Antoine, and Herb started doing spring and fall colors.
Okay.
First, we did it with the Kappas,
events.
and then we started doing it by ourselves. Okay. So we used to have 4,000 people at the Gantt Center.
Wow.
Like, you know, and that's why Spring Colors. That's how that.
Okay.
Spring Colors is a really fun event. And last time I remember you said that you're not really into the who's who or making your events feel exclusive or not accessible to the regular people.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk again about how you started making these events so successful, because you come a long way from the initial events that you planned to now the Spring Colors, which everybody looks forward to these and they're talked about around town.
Yeah.
So how did you make them successful?
So I mean, I have good credit, because when I had my cigar lounge, when I opened it up, I was able to mix with different people. First of all, the power of networking is the show, right?
Yes.
never limit yourself to who you talk to.
That's right.
That's
You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
so you know, like I'm just the type of person where if you talk to me, like I was raised in New York City, we don't talk to our neighbors.
Yes. Yes.
But you know, we don't like you want help? No, I don't want no help from you. I don't know you. I don't want anything. I don't owe you anything. You know, so basically, you know, when I, you know, being in Baltimore, you know, I was when I was in Baltimore, I tell you how I am. When I was in Baltimore, I was a New Yorker. People in Baltimore, they're very loyal, but they love their city. They have a pride in their city. Kind of like Philly. They have a big pride in their city. I was hanging out with some guys that were like, they took care of me, and they didn't have to do that.
Wow.
They know it. Like one of my best friends, Ogun, his name is Kevin Beasley. He runs the Baltimore Ceasefire. We were in a rap group together. So yeah, he runs the whole Baltimore Ceasefire campaign. Yeah, that's my guy. I call him. You know what I mean? But like we were kids. Like he's from Baltimore, and like you know I'm from New York, and we had a group together called Grady Gang, ROP. But like they accepted me. You know what I mean? And they didn't have to do that. So I never shut myself off from being myself. I didn't hang out with the New York crowd in Morgan. I know them. I got my best friends from New York, whatever. I just, my mom raised me to just talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And that's not where I was raised from, but that's, if you don't open your mouth, you're blocking your blessings.
That's
right.
true.
Yes.
That's true.
So that's kind of like, you know, how I built a lot of my network. When I opened my cigar lounge, there were some people in there that was not of the Herb Gray segment, or the Antoine Bryant or the Rashawn Moore segment. So you invite them in, like, because you talk to people, and they probably, you know, some of the people that you think you might think you're better than or whatever, they're doing better than you. They just don't put it out there.
That's right. That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So
That's right.
So you know, there's always power in conversation.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's you know, I just spark conversations. Like I would sit there at the bar and I just talk. And my grandfather raised me on that. My grandfather would be on on the Rockaway Boulevard and the Burger King, and he just talks. But he wouldn't drink. He'd have like a coffee and talk. My grandfather had lived 88 years. He had stories for days, but like just talking, the power of conversation.
Yes.
So I think that's a real start. That's just your first start, opening your mouth, not being scared to talk to people, and tell your journey sometimes. You know, there's nothing wrong with being open. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
And you know what? I've noticed that when it comes to networking, a lot of people, you have that initial conversation and it's great, but afterwards, you didn't really hear from that person. So,
Yes.
what advice would you give, or how were you able to nurture that relationship to keep it going for years ongoing? Say, this is my guy.
right. So not everybody has that. I will say this: not everybody has the power to be social, because social equity is very important.
Yes.
Not everybody's social. I mean, we talked about it before. I don't push people to be too social. I mean, you do what's in your lane,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. That's right.
So, but like, I would be out sometimes and I would meet people and they would follow up with me.
Uh-huh.
So like, you know, like look at power of social media. Like people look at Facebook, everybody shows pictures when they're up,
Yes, they do.
right? But they never show pictures when they're down, right?
That's
Because
right.
you don't, this is what it is, you know what I mean? And you know, like we all go through ups and downs in life. I've had ups and downs and I've had down times, and I've had some of the greatest people hit me up. I'll give you a story. Like when I sold my cigar lounge, I felt like a failure because we talked about it before.
Yeah.
Failure is a way of you build success from failure.
Yes.
But if you take it the wrong way, it can take you down.
That's true.
And you know, and I had a lot of plans for my cigar lounge. I wanted it to be on a different level. Well, our cigar lounge, right? Because I had co-owners. Yeah, I give people credit. But what I would say is this, you know, like I had one guy I told you, I was working in the WeWork building. In
Right.
Thanksgiving, in Thanksgiving Tower in Dallas. So I was flying out every weekend, coming back and forth. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like it's just like you get on a plane Sunday, you fly out, or you get on a plane Monday morning, you go straight to work.
Okay.
And then you come back Friday. It's like hopping on a train going home, but you're on a plane.
On a plane.
And I felt so lost. I remember one time I looked, because I've been in Charlotte for a while, and I was like, damn, what the hell am I doing? So I looked at it. There was a clock right next to me in the building, and I looked at it, and I had this guy call me. His name was Pat Black. He called me, and he said, "Yo, you all right?" He's in Charlotte. I'm like, yeah. Like I'm just calling to check on you, make sure you're all right. And I'm like, and it was like, I don't know if you ever seen The Color Purple when Sophia was like, "There's a God."
Yes.
Yes.
There's a God. When I see you want to.
Yes.
So
Oh my
you know,
gosh,
it was,
for
that
sure.
was I was like, somebody cares.
That's a real thing. When a moment's hit, it's real,
Yeah,
right?
that was a moment, and
Yes.
that was a moment where I was like, okay, you know what I mean? I felt like, you know, like when people need you,
Yes. Yes.
they'll hit you for everything, but when the lights go off,
Yes.
Yes. It's like
Come on
right.
now.
Those
It's those
moments.
moments.
Yeah.
Yes.
so that was my moment where I was like, somebody does care, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
I had other people that hit me up, but like that was a moment where I was like, you know, that was my dare as a God. moment.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, so.
How did you deal with the climb up in your business and in the era of clout chasing? And those
That's a good question.
That's an amazing question.
you know, discerning who is really for you and those that are looking for opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
So I used to have people used to come in my cigar lounge and actually cut. I had a small humidor, but because you know, in the cigar in a bar business period, this liquor is your money maker.
That's right.
A cigar is an accessory to keep people coming. Now, if you fully invest in cigars, then you have a total. You're relying on that those cigars to make the money. But most places, the alcohol is going to be your cash cow. I've had people come in there and you know, cut cigars up and be like, "Yo, my most expensive cigars," and be like, "This is broke. I need another one." After they smoked half of them. You look at that and you just chalk it up as a loss. And you know, some people don't know how to ask for help. That's another thing that you're saying. Like some people just want to try to get over, you know. And I look back on it now. Me being running a business, I should have checked it, but I was too worried about losing face or even getting into an argument or something over something so small. But it's business though, so I could have handled it better.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I could have handled it a lot better. I looking back on it now, you know, I should have checked a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. You learn from it. It's an education process, you know. But the cigar lounge is the best thing ever happened to me because I've met so much more people that I would not have met before.
Yes.
And you know, like it's a difference in like when you go into I go to a hookah lounge all the time. One of my best hookah lounges is Fuses, right? Everybody knows I'll be at Fuse. You want to see me? Find Rashawn at a Fuse. But with the cigar business, you're dealing with different clientele. You're dealing with older, younger, and you're dealing with people that can really give you some advice. And my goal with it was kind of just to build bridges between the young kids, the young entrepreneurs and young professionals and the older people because they have the wisdom,
Yes.
but the young people don't know how to ask and say, well, how do I belong or how do I do this or how do I do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If somebody teach me how to play golf, I wouldn't know how to play golf. And everybody's not Tiger Woods. I stink it up, but I had some good days. But like, if it didn't take a person to show me how to go and get a court for me to be uncomfortable to learn, then you know I would have even tried to play golf. So it's just about making people uncomfortable, not making them comfortable, but making them feel comfortable in an uncomfortable space.
Yes.
I would say that. I would say that.
I think that's key, and I think you made a great point in terms of saying it starts with a conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And not limiting yourself and just listening to your journey where you
Yes.
started out and how you were able to transition from being into a rap group, going from, you know, Baltimore to Charlotte and so forth. I think building relationships sounds like one of the ingredients
Yes.
that you really honed in on.
Yes.
You know, so
I
it
try.
allowed you to sort of catapult, right, yourself into these different
Yes.
diverse interests,
Yes.
so to speak, because you kept that core.
Right.
And that is so key. And I think a lot of people, you know, everyone always says, oh, network, you know, if you want to, you know, explore this particular industry or not, networking is key, but a lot of times people don't know how to do it. So I think what we're talking about is sort of these ingredients, right, to organically, successfully see benefits.
Yeah.
You know, so listening to your story, you're able to kind of transition to different, you know, arenas and, you know, interests and meet some people that really, really just sort of helped you along the way, but not judging, and you're,
Well,
you're going to be inclusive.
Let me ask you guys a question. You guys gonna ask me questions, right? So what's the best? What do you think is the best place to network at?
I would say
go around.
maybe coffee shops.
Coffee shops.
I think the best place to network is within your social sphere of people that you already know, like just tagging along with them to different events, because people that you know other people, and that's the best way to get introduced to others.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of hers. I'm very particular,
Yeah.
so I'm not caught up on all the who's,
Right,
but
right.
where God aligns me.
Mm.
So I'm more where God is leading me versus who that person is and who they're following.
We're the same because I don't like the who's who. We talked about that
Yeah,
last
yeah.
time. I don't like that
Yeah.
person. I'm not that person.
And I would just say, wherever there's people, I mean, I've had some great networking experiences walking a dog, being in a supermarket, the cashier that's ringing my groceries up. And I'm a people person, and I've had great conversations with the person taking out my trash in an office building. I've learned in my journey, you do not know who the messenger is.
That's true.
Yes.
So
That's
I'm
true.
very, very
Yes.
sensitive, and I'm
Very.
very aware of that.
Yes.
So I'm never limited into what space I'm in. I'm into what's your keyword, having conversations.
That's right.
You know, I like organic connections.
Authentic.
And if I'm not supposed to connect, I could be at a real estate networking event, right, per se. But if I'm not supposed to connect with someone,
Yes.
I leave it alone.
Yes.
And it could
That's
be
right.
the prime
That's
real
right.
estate event.
That's
It's,
right.
it's the energy.
But it could be in a
That's right.
supermarket,
That's
right?
right.
With
That's
the
right.
cashier that I'm supposed to. So I've actually, and I have stories where this has deemed true. So I really recommend people to not stage, you know,
Yes.
don't limit yourself and box yourself off to who's the messenger.
Yes.
Because life is a journey and life is mysterious in terms of where, you know, the messenger is coming from.
So true.
That is
Yes,
so true.
That's awesome.
And I say coffee shops just because I work at coffee shops a lot, like when I just want a different scene,
Mhm.
just to focus. But I've noticed there's so much culture, like just mixed and jumbled into one at these coffee shops. So I may hear someone speaking Spanish or someone speaking Polish or someone speaking French. And it's just, or someone's having a group and like, it's amazing. It like spikes my curiosity. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey, how are you? I hear you, you know, talking about this or that. I'm Kiera. You know, what do you do? What's your name? How long have you been in Charlotte? Some of them have moved like across the country. It's just so intriguing. So I find like a really heavy interest in finding out who an individual is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
and what makes them them.
And what is your answer?
Yeah.
It's funny, right? Honestly, my mental health and my go-to spot is Justin's Barbershop in Charlotte. I go there all the time, and I have no hair now, so I'm trying to save my hair for a minute.
That is so
But I go there every Thursday, and you know, I used
So
to.
what do you get done?
I go there for the conversation. I just go there for the conversation. Like,
Awesome.
yeah, you go in there and you get locked in. You could be there for like an hour. You're waiting, but you just see so many people of walks of life in Charlotte just come through, like older, younger, and the barbershop's always been a staple, and especially in the minority communities.
Absolutely.
And I just go there, and I just they call me. I went from being Rashawn to being called Laptop. They call me Laptop now because I go in there. I always have my laptop on, right?
Okay.
I'm always working. But I just love going in there and just hearing the conversations. You could be in it. You could walk into a financial meeting. You could walk into a sports meeting. You could talk about boxing.
That is-
You could talk about anything.
That's
and,
awesome.
and just like an hour or 2 hours just letting loose
Yes.
and
yes.
just talking.
That's
I think it's just
conversation.
yeah.
We're back to this
Yeah.
conversation.
But I
Yeah.
think it's a culture in barbershops too.
Yeah.
You guys have that like embedded. Like
Yep.
you just come in
That's
from
right.
anywhere and everyone's just like, hey,
Hey, how you
what's
doing?
your
Yep.
name? You
Yep.
know, what you
Yeah.
do?
Yep.
What's going on? It's
Yep.
So everyone, be open. Hair salons, barbershops,
That's what- yeah.
anywhere there's people. All right, guys, we're being interrupted. We have a fire question. Okay, next level fire question.
Cool.
So let's hear it.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is, let's say that someone's an accountant or a business professional and you're going to a networking event, because I think sometimes people think that networking events or just going out is about being an influencer and just getting content. What is your number one advice for going to these networking events, and how do you get started?
Well, first of all, I would say, I can tell you what I do. I'm always myself. I be myself. And I don't try to, I try to learn. I don't know everything. And I think a lot of people, some people might want to be the smartest person in the room. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. If I feel like if I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
Okay.
So I always want to be, like I tell even my manager sometimes, like I tell him, like, talk to me like I'm dumb. You know what I mean? Because I just don't like if I know something, I'm gonna know it. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
But if I don't know it, I feel like people try to fake it through. And I'm not that type of person.
That's
I mean, if I don't know it, I don't know
That's
it.
it.
Because the worst thing I can do is screw it up.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
And then and then you get with conversations with people. People are gonna figure you out after a while anyway.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
You can
right.
get one or two conversations, 1-2 sentences.
That's right.
They're
That's
gonna
it.
to judge you in a way by the way you act, how you carry yourself, how you drink,
Yes.
whatever, everything.
That's
They're
right.
sizing you up since you walk in the room, and you gotta just be yourself. So people can accept you for you, but if you're not being your authentic self, I think that's the number one rule.
That's a
Number one
awesome,
rule. I live by that.
Awesome tip.
Number one rule.
Yeah, awesome
I agree.
tip.
I feel like in the situations, I think that being vulnerable is very difficult for me sometimes, because I'm a perfectionist and I'm a very type A person. So it's hard to tell people, oh, I don't know that. And so I feel like I've made the most genuine connections when I've just been honest with people and been like, I'm not an expert at that, but I can help you, or
Yeah.
I'll do the best I can to help you get that answer.
Yeah.
So I think
We're
that's
all human.
we're all
Exactly.
human.
We can all learn from each other.
Yeah.
That's what people forget.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So good.
Well, we have another question. Let's hear another
Yes.
one.
All right, my second question. I see that when it comes to networking, people are at all of these kind of events. You come across so many people. Now, when you're building these genuine relationships, afterwards, it's always okay. You have their phone number. Okay, but the follow up, and it's like, okay, I don't want to. You have that feeling. I don't want to bother them. They may be too
Yeah.
busy. They probably don't have no time for me. Blah blah blah. So, what would you say is the best advice to nurture those relationships?
I gotta be honest, I'm working on that.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I
Good
gotta be honest, I'm
question.
working on that. Like I get a
Thank you
lot
for
of,
your
I get people who give me numbers and I have contacts, and I've gone through a phase in my life where I feel like I don't want to bother people.
Yeah.
And they actually might be looking for something from me, or vice versa. I haven't mastered the art of getting a card and calling people. People give me cards all the time, and I think with me, I don't like cards. I'm just the type of person I am. I don't like cards either. It's kind of like here's my card.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I don't
like
do
bam.
it. Like, give me and then I got this new thing now with the scanning and stuff.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
I get it. Let me go to my authentication app and pull this up. Okay, you got it. All right. I'm not that like I'm just nuts and bolts. I'm really nuts and bolts and follow up. I do got to be better on follow up. If I need something done though, I'll make sure I reach out. It's kind of selfish. I get it. But I know people are so busy. Like I met some people last week and I was told to follow up with them. And the person actually knew who I was. He knew me, but I'm just like, so how do I, I'd rather just come, let's go out, let's go to the bar and talk. You know what I mean? Let's go. I don't want to do all that, hello, how I met you.
Right.
I met you and, I feel it comes off a little unauthentic
Yes.
sometimes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, and if I see you out, like I will have a conversation with you. So, I feel like when I meet you the first time, you know my identity.
That's
you
right.
know how I am. So you know I'm being genuine. You kind of feel me.
That's right.
You know what I mean? There's a difference when you meet somebody and they just give you a card and it's like a surface conversation
Yes.
versus a good 10-minute conversation. People don't take time no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
They're
But I
always
think
moving
it-
around. And,
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to like what you're saying, and you keep saying this: be yourself.
That's it.
So I think that when people meet you,
Yeah.
they meet them a Sean,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So therefore, you don't
Yeah.
have to kind of like do a reintroduction of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're who you are,
Yeah.
and the way I received you, even coming up to you, you were humble and
Yeah.
you were
beautiful.
with a serving spirit. So
Yeah.
Yes.
that work has been done.
Yeah.
So even if he's not great with following up,
Yeah.
or he's too busy or feeling a little that person has met you.
Yeah.
So I think
That's still in
people hear
reconstruction with me. I'm still in
Okay,
reconstruction.
so
with
that's
that
a
part.
goal. That's
You know,
a goal.
it's something. I'll be honest. It's something I have to work better on. I really admit that.
So would you say, I guess the best solution is to maybe follow up with a person, but maybe invite them out for lunch or a coffee
Yeah.
or something to keep
Yeah.
that, genuine connection
Yeah.
going.
And
Yeah.
human touch.
Yeah.
Keep it human
Yes,
touch.
versus just text.
Yes.
Call or, "Oh, I missed
Texting
your
is another
call."
thing. Texting is the word, like, you could be texting for like back and forth. You're like, it's taking my time. You just get on the phone, just figure it out
Yeah.
on the phone right now. I can't stand texting. I do it, but I can't stand it. You know what I mean? So I think a conversation, talking,
Yes.
being more personal, eliminating all this technology stuff.
Right.
Just get on the
We have to
phone.
get back to
call.
basics.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
actually,
Face to
in
face.
that, there's nothing wrong with leaving the onus on them to
Mhm.
follow up with
Follow
you and
me.
just say, "Hey, I'm not good with follow up, but would you be so kind? Just send me a text, shoot me some days."
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that
You gave me a cat.
That's
I'm learning. I'm
right.
gonna try.
yes, because I'm the same way.
Right,
so I'm
right.
like horrible. They're like, "Call me," and I'm like,
And you know what it is? We're all scared of rejection.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you follow up with
Yes.
somebody and text them, and
No,
they be like, oh, I'm like,
All right,
I'm like,
You're in the
all right,
living room.
I tried.
Yeah.
We're all
That's
scared of
right,
rejection.
that's
You know what I mean?
right,
So
that's
you know.
right.
And these
yeah.
are real good
Yeah.
tips because
Yes.
as we all, anyone listening, that we all kind of struggle with this.
Yes,
in
we
our
do.
own. So if
We
you're
do.
sitting listening, going, okay, I want to network, but I don't quite,
Put yourself out
right, and then also follow up. And we all have this thing about approaching another human being.
Yes.
But I think definitely from our conversation, invest, because this podcast is about creating an investor mindset. So I want everyone to kind of open themselves up to invest their time, right, in terms of connecting. So even that term networking, let's just expand it a little bit more. Connecting with another human being and
That's
having that
right.
conversation.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be where you have to have this large personality or social butterfly. Just be yourself. So
That's
right.
that's no
Exactly.
equipment, right? You're already
Yeah.
equipped. You're yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Show up, be uncomfortable, right? And just start talking.
Yes.
Let's get back to
Right.
basics,
Yes.
human to human
Yes.
talking.
Get comfortable with being
Yes.
uncomfortable.
There you
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, everybody's uncomfortable.
That's
Yeah.
That's
right.
it.
And put your phone down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put your
Yes,
phone
yes.
down.
Put your phone down. But also in the uncomfortable, knowing whatever is meant to flow to you.
Yes.
Will flow to you, and what's not
Yes.
meant for you
That's
will
a good
not.
tip.
And you,
Sure.
when
And be
you're
okay with
comfortable
it.
and be okay
Yes,
with that.
yes.
Yeah.
That's really, really good
Yes.
because a lot of people, we have different goals,
Yeah.
and
That's right.
we know that you may know something that I need
Yes.
to get me from A to C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Right. And the power of networking, it's impactful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, it
like I
is.
said, I think if we all went around the room, if we had more time, we can tell people about how different times where we connected and had conversations, how it impacted our journey
Yeah.
to accomplishing a task, a goal, or whatever the case is. So there's power. I hope anyone listening realizes, start talking.
Yes.
Be yourself
Yes.
and start conversating. Don't be afraid. There's something that you need to get to the next level
Yes.
that someone else has.
Yes.
Yes.
I
It's a
agree.
puzzle piece. Now, they may be in a barbershop. They may be in a supermarket.
Yes.
They may be at
The
you know,
airport.
The airport.
Yes.
You never know.
Might be the
So,
first
so
thing.
be open, right?
That's
Be
right.
open to it.
I agree.
You've been awesome sharing your
Yeah.
experience.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I mean, your
Thank you.
journey is amazing. And guys, you're also an engineer. That's the
Yes.
amazing
Yeah, we're
thing.
proud
So
of- yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
this such a diverse level of talent and interest, and I just also implore people to understand, like, you can do more than one thing.
That's
Yeah.
important.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but having the main ingredients, I think, is key in terms of knowing how to connect with people. Right? It can allow you in a lifetime to accomplish various interests.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
Don't overlook people, guys. Don't overlook. You don't know where the
Yes.
next messenger is coming from.
That's
That's
true.
right.
And
That's true.
we'll have to get into community building because this all ties into the power of networking and community building.
Yes.
I believe in terms of building up within community
I'm
structures
very about that.
has to still start with a conversation,
It
Yes.
does. Yes.
right? And
Yes.
then collaboration.
Yes. Collaboration is huge.
It is.
So-
Over competition,
Over competition,
That's-
yes.
especially. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
We're so much more powerful when we just work together.
Together.
Yes.
That's
Come
right.
together.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right.
I mean, this
Serving
is
one
such.
another
Oh my God, awesome.
in service.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing. So this conversation is so impactful. I believe that it can really, knowing these ingredients could really help someone go to the next level.
Yes.
Right? And whatever
Definitely.
they're doing, whatever career or goal they have. Want to wrap this up here. I want you to, tell the audience any tips or gems that you can just share. Any tips or gems, someone listening out there that you can share with. Go ahead.
And always invest in social equity. I think that's very important. Never burn bridges.
Yeah.
You never, if you get into it with somebody, when you come back around, you might need them later on.
Yeah. Yes.
So just keep it surface level. If and number one thing is faith and believing in God.
Yes.
Without anything, without God, nothing works.
Right.
No shortcuts.
Nothing.
No way to
Nothing
get
works.
around.
Nothing.
Nothing works. So prayer, faith, and and really just being yourself, and always having self-worth
Yes.
is important,
Yes.
because self-worth builds out to everybody else.
Yes.
And you don't know, your self-worth can be on 100, and somebody else's worth could be on 50, but you giving that energy to them can really bring them up.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know what
I
I mean?
love
So,
that.
no.
I love that.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome gems.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome
Awesome.
gems. We thank you so much, Rashawn, for
Oh,
sharing
Thank
today.
thank you for being here. I appreciate
Yes,
it.
and we'll be at your next event.
Yes, we
fall
will.
We're
colors.
excited.
Fall colors,
We'll be
yeah.
at the
September
next
14th,
event.
yeah.
So
Still.
Stay on
thank you guys.
Eventbrite, okay?
Well, thank you all for joining us today. We will see you guys for episode 7. And that title is, you got to stay for it, The Close. Come back and watch it. We'll have some awesome attorneys there. And we're looking forward to it. So we'll see you guys there. And let's cheers on the power of
Cheers.
networking and community.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.